What is happening, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another edition of the Batcave Minutes. It's Sunday night. The kids are in bed. It's still a little chilly outside, but hey, for California standards, it's not that bad. But thank you so much for joining us. It's kind of an unfortunate, sad Batcave Minutes episode because we have to unfortunately talk about the last episode of WandaVision. But before we get into that, we had some sports today, My lucky brother gets to go to, the A's game down in Arizona for spring training. Kyle Larson, the boy does it. My NASCAR driver, racing number 5 for Hendrick Motorsports. You will hear me talk about it, to no end next week when we record episode 103.
Oh, Lord.
But he gets it done in Las Vegas. But before we get into WandaVision, how was your weekend? I feel like it was not too short, actually. Everyone feels just the 2 days is short, but I had a good weekend.
Yeah.
I had a good weekend.
This is actually the first weekend in quite a while that you've been home both days.
Mm-hmm.
You've been working 6 days a week at work, but I spent my weekend trying to get rid of a gopher in our front yard. And
yes. Home ownership problems.
I have lost this battle, but I will not lose the war. So gopher 1, me 0 right now.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it has torn up one neighbor's backyard and the opposite neighbor's front yard, and it's dug up 4 or 5 little
6
holes. You have it. You have the tally up.
Yeah.
So we have traps. We have our exterminators coming and putting the bait down there, the poisonous bait. So
we
we're
tried flooding him out. He's a survivor, and he gets an A+ for those tunnels because they're engineered quite.
Yeah, they go down and they go back and forth. It's like,
and just like the perfect it's very well done.
Yeah, he took some geometry classes.
Yeah,
let me say.
Gets credit where credit's due. That little engineer.
But your family, some of your family came over.
Met our son.
To meet our son because they haven't seen us since you said Christmas of 2019.
Correct.
So that's pretty crazy that we haven't seen some family that we used to see once every other month on a regular basis for just family functions, birthdays, and holidays and stuff, and we haven't seen them in...
It was an emotional reunion for me, so it was nice.
Yeah, because it's one of your funner aunts, for sure.
Yeah.
The funnest family members, So I'd like to recommend some books for you guys, so let me just grab those real quick. A friend of the show, he's been on the show, Frank Gogol from Source Point Press. I can never say that correctly. Source Point Press. Issue 2 of his Dead End Kids, A Suburban Job. What can I say? His writing is amazing. Just the narration and all of these stories feel like, it could really happen. You have a lot of like the Batman, the Superman, the Wonder Woman, the Avengers, stuff like that. But this really hits hard. It hits home, and you can tell that he's kind of writing through himself, maybe from some experiences or some people that he knew, but just an amazing book so far. Issue 2 out of 4, I believe. So go get yourself this. It's a hot book too. Don't know if your local comic book store is going to have it, but that was last week, and then this past week we have 2 books. Batman is back, so DC is back from Future State. We have Batman, Flash, Action. All those books are back, so I can't wait to read James Tynion's first issue in 2 months of Batman 106. And finally, Mr. Keanu Reeves makes his debut as a comic book writer. Keanu Reeves, Berserker.
We talked about that on one of our episodes.
Yeah, and doesn't he kind of look like Keanu Reeves? Maybe? Okay, whatever. I think he does. But anyways, Keanu Reeves is co-writing this. It was delayed months and months because I think they fired the artist. I think that's what Alex at Treasure Island Comics told me, but go pick this one up as well. I'm excited to read this book as well, and we'll have full reviews on the Batman and the Berserker come episode 103. So, here we go. WandaVision. What can I say? Just an amazing finale to a show that has been, down with the first 2 episodes. We were so confused, and then it was just the highest of highs. I had moments of Endgame Infinity War, like that, and you had a completely different experience this episode because I wasn't as emotional. I was just like, oh man, I was more just like, whenever I watch a show like this or a movie, I kind of look, unfortunately, I can't get enough. I just look forward. Like, I have questions about how is this going to happen? How is this going to tie in? How are we going to settle this dispute? Like, how are we going to tie these loose ends together? That's what I'm thinking of. And your experience.
Well, I cried a lot more than I was.
Like Tony Stark dying cried.
No. No.
Actually, no, not that bad.
That was dramatic.
Yeah.
And I cried the whole drive home from the movie theater to our house. But it was really good. Oh my God, it was so good. The whole story in general, they did a really good job wrapping everything up. So I do see one season, because that was one of my complaints. It's like, I don't want it to be one season. Like, this is so amazing.
Yeah.
But they really finished it well. The only complaint that I have, if I were to have a complaint, is the new version, New Vision. What's his, like, New Vision?
Oh, yeah, I guess like a 2.0,
I don't know what you want
whatever.
to call him. He came and left kind of quick. Like, he came, had a battle. Here's your real...
Here's your memories.
And he was off. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I would have liked to see a little bit more of Monica Rambeau's superpowers in the battle, but obviously I think that might.
Yeah, I thought she was going to make an appearance battle-wise.
Well, we haven't gotten any information about her character and what she might be in the future. Is she going to be in the Doctor Strange movie? Is she going to be in any more of the shows? So I'm curious to see about that. I also really thought that Pietro would have been more of an integral part because Evan Peters played Quicksilver for X-Men and Evan Peters is Evan Peters. So I was kind of like, oh, I thought he would be more, like,
involved, yeah.
Just more than under her spell. Plus, who doesn't want to see more of Evan Peters, am I right?
I don't see it.
It's okay. But I was very emotional at the end. I cried and cried and cried and cried. And I told you after the show was over, I said, I just think maybe it hits differently for me now because we have kids and we're married.
Yeah.
And so when she decided to be done with Westview and the Hex is closing, Vision's kind of saying his goodbye. And the way that they were able to just, God, convey the love and the connection, you really felt for Wanda. Maybe she was doing things that were wrong by keeping this town under a spell, but you could feel like the amount of love she had for Vision, and you could feel the pain of having to lose Vision back in Endgame, and then the boys, and they're putting the boys to sleep knowing that come 10 minutes, they are no more. Yeah. And that was a lot for me to handle. I think just putting myself in Wanda's shoes, and that's, to me, really good acting. I really hope that, Marvel and those kind of movies don't really get recognized in terms of like awards, but my God, that acting was just brilliant, like really well done. So that was really great. The other thing is, after the show, I was just sitting there just pissed, and you're like, what's wrong? And I was like, I hate Thanos, man. Like, I hate Thanos.
I know.
All of this is his fault.
Yeah.
All of it. So, one thing that Marvel really does that DC doesn't do for me is the continuation of the story, the continuation of the feelings, the continuation of just the storytelling.
They've created something amazing. Because even before then, you only had X-Men 1, 2, and 3. Mm-hmm. You had Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3. You only had like a 3-issue thing, like how the Dark Knight series was. How Tim Burton's Batman was one. There's like 2 of them. But the MCU, they've created something that's, 20-something movies, 22 movies, and now a TV show, and they have all this content that's lined up with the Eternals and Loki and Falcon Winter Soldier,
together.
Black Widow, Marvel, Captain Marvel 2, which you see in the cutscene. That's what I'm guessing she's going to be in. I don't know, because hell, we could have like an old friend, and she points up, the scroll.
I didn't know that's who she was talking about.
So that's what I think is it's Nick Fury. But who's where is he going to end up in? Captain Marvel 2? He could show up in Falcon Winter Soldier. You never know.
Or Loki
or something like that. You never know. So.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see how they move forward. Please, in the comment section, tell us how you felt, when she had to say goodbye to her family. And it was weird. It was like, that's what I asked you when it was all done. It was like, dude, it was like that never happened. She ended up it looked like the same outfit that when she first got there. Yeah. And it was pretty crazy, a pretty crazy end.
Really good epic battle scene with Agatha Harkness.
Dude, yeah, when she created the runes, so that way she couldn't use her magic in there, the same thing that she did down in the basement of her home. That was really awesome. That was like, damn, I was, because I was like, damn, she's missing her a lot, with her with her spells. What is she doing? She's creating those runes really at the same time. So yeah, no, it was a really good show, and we can't wait to see.
I'm really upset that it's over.
We'll have a week in between, so you may just see my pretty face for Batcave Minutes next week, but then we'll start right back over again next week in 2 weekends when we have to review Justice League and the first episode of Falcon Winter Soldier.
We got a lot of TV to watch, man.
I know, because all my shows came back. Like I said on episode 102, I have my Flash, Superman and Lois, Black Lightning, Batwoman, Snowfall for any of you Snowfall fans. The Mayans start in a couple weeks. Walking Dead's back. I don't have enough time.
Watch any of those.
I haven't watched any. Well, but then I watch the shows with you. I like my...
It's all those shows, but then we just end up watching 90
Day Fiance, Hell's Kitchen. That's a good show. So yeah, oh my God, we have so much TV to watch. And then of course, just to end it real quick, Raya and the Last Dragon was cool. We got not to spoil it because it literally just got released.
We got suckered into $30 Disney Plus.
Yeah,
you're making your money.
But I think it was worth it.
$30 worth.
Yeah, because
our daughter has watched it.
She's watched it 10 times.
Today.
10 times since we got it on Friday. But it's definitely more worth it than Mulan was.
100%.
It's a really cute story. Got some Moana vibes to it,
In terms of the animation.
Yeah, it was really good.
But it also has Into the Spider-Verse vibes in terms of parts of their animation.
That's right, when they're telling stories and they go to different parts, yeah. It's a really cool movie. You guys should definitely check it out.
Our daughter loves it, and she's already doing the...
If you know, you know.
But that's really just the magic of Disney. They have little things like that can suck you in.
Yeah.
And now my daughter she
wants
running
dragons.
To the tree and is Sisu, and is pretending to be this
dragon and stuff, yeah.
Watching her imagination get just totally lit and sparked from a film is just so sweet. And really big news is we got an opening date for Disneyland come April 1st.
That's right, even though we will not be attending.
No. Because we're poor.
Yeah, that's one reason. But
I'm curious to see ticket sales, availability. Are people going to say the website crashed, or the only date, because they're only operating at 15% capacity, is 2023. You can't book out, or how are they going to? How are they going to do it? I don't know.
Yeah.
Annual pass holders, do they?
What was the final price when they first closed down? It was $200 a day for a park hopper.
No, I think it was more than that.
Because I remember when we went,
but not much more.
When we went the year before, we got locked in on a price, and then when we went, currently at that point, it was $200 for a park hopper. So it's gonna be interesting to see what they do with the increase of prices.
Well, and our annual pass holder is gonna get first bid. You know what I mean?
Don't know how they're gonna bring that. Yeah, there's so many questions, but the month of March is pretty big, and then we have a bunch of people being able to go to games in baseball and stuff come March. So it's gonna be very interesting. People stay safe, of course. Still abide by all of the guidelines and everything. But you know what? It's looking a little better. We're finally seeing somewhat of a light, and hopefully by the middle of the summer, when the weather's hot and everyone wants to kind of get together and do barbecues and all that stuff, hopefully we'll be safe enough. People will actually feel safe enough to go doing those types of things. So, yeah, it's looking up. But that's it for Batcave Minutes 14.0. I did not forget this time, episode 14. But thank you so much to my wife, Danielle. Stay tuned. Sometime this month we'll have more After Dark with Mark and Powers Hour. Please subscribe and follow the YouTube and Twitch pages to watch us record episode 103 this upcoming Wednesday night. But for, again, my wife Danielle, this is Comic Bookie Mike. Enjoy the sports, enjoy the comics, and as always, enjoy each other. Peace out. It's rated X. That means you're extra, extra.